Brian Tracy had a quote that went like this. He said, winners make a habit of manufacturing their own positive expectations in advance of the event. So let's go back to 1992. Michael Johnson was the world record holder for the 200 meter, 400 meter race. Okay. He was the fastest man in the world. Everybody knew he was going to win the gold in 1992. Nobody even questioned it. The day before the event, he eats a bad sandwich that gives him food poisoning and he can't compete. You know what he does? Great story. He's Nike was his sponsor. He calls the guys up at Nike and said, you know what? I couldn't compete this year, but I want you to do this. There was something wrong with the shoes you made me. They need to be pure gold for next Olympics. And the guy said, what? He said, I want you to make them gold because I'm going to win the gold. He goes, Michael, that's 4 years away. You're going to be 4 years older. You're going to be ancient in terms of years when you run the 1996 Olympics. You might not even qualify. He said, just make the darn gold shoes and send them to me because I'm going to win. And he said, well, what are people going to think if you don't? He goes, it's not an option. And in 1996, he won the gold in the 200 meter and the 400 meter with gold shoes on. Guys, I'm going to ask you two questions today that I want you to think about. Question number one, I ask the thousands of loan officers I train every month. This is the question I ask them. Question number one, what do you think about today's market? Just like Mark talked about. If anything negative comes out, well, rates, well, inventory, well, competition, well, affordability, if that's your answer, then you're going to fail on question number two, because question number two is going to be, so based on your answer, how are you going to succeed and have great numbers in this marketplace? Because your answer to number one will dictate your results in number two every single time. Here's the fact of the matter, guys. This is the most opportunistic market I've seen in 41 years. Inventory today is 27% higher than it was last year. We're at almost 700,000 units. There's plenty of purchase out there. Population numbers are 168 million for Gen Y, Gen Z. We have more people want to buy homes than we've ever seen in history. We've got an average of $305,000 in equity, gross equity, for every homeowner in the United States. That's a national average. Take 80%, you got $242,000 in equity, and the average consumer has $104,000 in debt today. That's a $2,800 monthly payment that you can eliminate. Refinances are alive today if you pay off debt and you give people cash. Purchases are absolutely awesome. If your network isn't big enough, your inventory is going to be small. But if your network's huge, your inventory is huge. That's just the way it works. So we've got to think right if we're going to win in this marketplace.
That's so good.
Go ahead, Phil.
No, go ahead, Chris.
Well, I'm just sitting here saying, look, what Mark and Dale said is the big thing that really hit me. If you want to change your mindset, know your numbers.